So Richard, you've given a TEDx talk here in Dunedin in the last year or so, and in that presentation you shared some of the characteristics that Olympic and world medalists or world championship medalists and particularly repeat medalists share. Would you be able to tell us about some of those characteristics that might be relevant to our audience that are watching?
Sure. So for the younger high performance athlete, there are 7 that were uncovered from the research. So that was interviews and repeat surveys and investigations into what the coaches say are the key things and what the scientists say are the key things, and then comparing that to what the athletes say are the key things. And so these 7 behaviors, 7 learned skills, because high performance is all about learning. And so we didn't want attributes and characteristics and things like diligent and on time and resilient. Those things are just names. And so we were looking for what has an athlete improved on deliberately.
Okay.
So whether they're aware of it or not, when they've finished, suddenly it looks like they knew what they were doing. So they were replaying the core things that stood out to them. They didn't know it at the start, but they knew it at the end. So we thought if we can take those, encapsulate them, and offer those to high performance athletes. So for the group watching, it's likely the top 3 for the young athlete is it's called an ecosystem. So the kind of environment that you live in. And I don't mean a beautiful environment like this. It's your parents or your friends, your car, does it work? The kind of nutritional components you've got. So the entire system around you, how understandable is it to you? And how simple is it? So it's not a complicated game, high performance. It's a very simple game, and it looks complicated by people who haven't quite figured out how to do it. And so if you look at the people who do it, it's very simple. And so when we interviewed, we found the novice athlete and the repeat medalist were very similar. And then there was this group of chaos and gray in the middle where it was unclear what was happening. There's a lot going on, more than here and here, but it's complicated. So we wanted to take what's out here and starting here and support the people in the middle. So ecosystem was a key aspect. Nobody who's winning repeatedly is alone. And there are a lot of athletes training on their own, Googling and trying to figure out and what's the flavor, and they're not alone. And it's called a tight team. So it's at least 3 people, usually not more than 3. So you have a core person, which is a coach, and then there's an observer person. So you need that unbiased person who is going to help 2 people not agree all the time. And so they pay attention to the details of the numbers as well. And so they replay numbers and objectivity. And so those 2 turned out to be the most important. And then the learning. And it wasn't just give it a go. It was mapped. It was like repeated diaries. Athletes are fantastic at diaries, but are they reviewed? Are they updated? Is there a pre-brief? So am I heading somewhere? Do I know what I'm doing? Do I know what I expect? Do I compare what I expected to what I got? That's the learning.
Yeah, the reflection. So they might be great at collecting the information, but are they making time? And it sounds like not just on their own either, but with some key people to look back at those diaries and reflect on how they can improve for the next year or the next season.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. Okay. Active reflection.
Yes.
And not just record keeping.
And that's valuable in any aspect of life, really, isn't it?
Probably is. The coaches who were the best at it followed something similar.
Yeah.
Active reflection, a tight team where they could let their guard down and be honest with somebody, and a simple ecosystem, a simple lifestyle, not very complicated, not racing around. It's very simple because the main goal is the main goal. And the rest need to feed that main goal.
To support into that. Okay, that's great. That's really good insights. Thanks, Richard.